And go.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Curvaceous Bounty of Sin City. We are live at BBW FanFest 2013 at the Tuscany Hotel. Day 3. Things are kind of gearing up for the big gear down today. But we are sitting here with the beautiful, and we've been told by some of our close company here that you're the most beautiful woman here.
Oh.
There were a couple of men who did tell us that, and you're very beautiful. But we're here with Michelle Austin. Thanks for sitting down with us.
Thank you, ladies.
And your friend Wendy Williams just calls you all kind of bitches and hoes.
She's a slut. She likes that big black cock.
See, so do I. So we have something in common.
Yeah, you and her have something in common.
Red hair and big black cock, right?
Must be something about the red hair.
It is.
Or the fact that you're just a whore.
Well,
That's true.
We just decided we were going to do, and I said we're going to do a video and call it Redhead. I forget. What did you call it? It was great.
Ginger's Gone Kinky.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, exactly. So let's not talk about everybody else. Let's talk about you.
Okay.
Tell us what kind of stuff you're doing, what have you done, and what you got coming up.
Well, anybody can check out my website. It's updated every Friday with either solo photos, everything nasty, dirty.
Ooh.
And it's michelle-austin.com. So it's where I'm always at. But my latest DVD, Michelle Austin, The Voluptuous Diva, Volume 3 is out. And they can get that at trannyadultstore.com. And they can find actually DVDs that are featuring me. I just was released in Some Like It Black, my first interracial hardcore.
Oh.
Ooh.
And then last month I came out in T-Girl Solos 5.
Wow. You're doing a lot of stuff.
I know.
Now, do you also do live we see that Wendy's got her site and she's gotten all her fans. Do you do live cam at all? Or?
Sometimes. It just depends. I'm on Cam 4 or stream. I mean, not streaming. I'm live. So that's where people, but it's rare that you find me that because I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I'm always editing for people's sites, mastering DVDs. So I do a lot of behind the scenes
behind
work.
and on the camera.
Yeah.
Do you edit your own stuff too?
Yep.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm a independent hoe.
The less you have to pay somebody else, the
That's
better it is.
right.
I know.
Keep the money in the house.
Yes, keep it in the house.
So can we talk a little bit about your transition from male to female?
Yeah, of course.
You know, I love I mean, I just do. I've studied it. I've read about
She could
it.
marry a tranny, she would.
You could.
I could probably, huh? But no, I've always been it's just been an interest of mine always. I just can't imagine, you know, somebody being born in what they felt the wrong body was. I think that's a torment. So when did you know, like, I'm just not right being a boy?
Well, I think a lot of people, you know, you'll hear a lot of girls say it, or boys that are trans will say, oh, I knew when I was 5. Well, I grew up in the South in a very Baptist religious town, so for me, I never knew that. I
never knew that term, or
yeah,
you never knew it was out there, yeah?
I knew I was different, but I never knew that that's what I related to. And then when I was like 15 years old, I seen a movie with drag queens.
Was it Priscilla?
Well, I love Priscilla, though, but Priscilla wasn't the first. It was Tu Wong Fu.
Oh, I love
which
that
is kind of
movie.
based off of Priscilla, the American version.
Tu Wong Fu is great.
And then I thought, oh, well, I'm gay because I was attracted to boys. And then not until I was 18 years old did I see a transsexual at a drag show, and that's when I was like, okay, that's what I am. So
it had to be really horrible not to be able to label what you were feeling.
Yeah, and you know what? My drama teacher, like in the last maybe 5 or 6 years, when she found out that I was trans, we found each other on Facebook, and she says it all makes sense now.
Oh, okay, okay, good.
And even my father came around and said that it made sense.
And did your family have? I'm sorry, I didn't mean. Go ahead.
No, so we're probably going to ask the same question. So I'm assuming then that this was difficult for your family to transition with you?
Yeah, because first of all, I have a religious family, but thank God my family's Methodist, so it's more of a liberal Christianity-based thing. But it did take them a long time. But if it was, I honestly say this to a lot of people, even though I'm not religious, but my family is, that if it wasn't for the pastor in my church, who had a psychology degree before he was a pastor, he was I don't think he would. I don't think my family would be the way they are today because he's the one that basically told them I was born this way to accept it and to go on with it.
I think that's great that a pastor's doing it. I think more.
Yeah.
I mean, because you know what? Like we're very adult and we're very raunchy and we talk about sex. But like for me, like I'm a Christian, you know, and I believe in God and I pray every day. And I don't think that being in this lifestyle or being in your lifestyle has anything to do with your personal relationship with God or with Buddha or whoever it might be. You know,
my belief is that the powers that be decided that there should be some variety and spice down here, and if everything is black and white, things would just get really fucking boring.
Well, if you look at like Thailand, you know, they respect transsexuals. It's a higher being.
It's
it's a whole different world over there.
It's in most Asian cultures, people who are transsexual or transgendered are viewed at a higher spiritual level because they have the yin and the yang within them. They're
well, and I watched,
female.
like I said, I watch everything on TV I can get my hands on trannies. But I watched a thing about Thailand, and I think it was Thailand, but it was one of the Asian countries where, like, in an early age, each family like picks out a boy to dress as a woman and eventually transition all the way up. And of course it is the boys who are a little more feminine and I just hope they are truly want to be there. But yeah, they actually like groom them that way. So you know, and let me ask you this, because this is a real hot spot now in the news, is children, little boys that want to start dressing like little girls at 6 and 7. That's what they feel. How do you feel about that?
Oh, let's see. I have actually talked to a couple people that deal with it. I got to hang out with Chaz Bono, who...
Oh, you lucky bitch! I'm on her Facebook, or his Facebook and everything. I love him. I watched Dancing with the Stars just because he was on there.
He works with them, and I think it's great. I think it's great that there's parents out there that are accepting of their children at that age and know, okay, because what's going to happen to them is when they hit puberty, you're going to go through all the things that you don't feel you should go through, and I did that. I hated body hair. I hated a lot of the things that were happening to me. So when you're at an earlier age, they can start giving you the hormones that you need in order to years later that you don't have to.
You don't think there and I hate to say a mistake, but what I mean though is like some little boy decides he wants to wear pink and skirts and dress like a girl, and 5-10 years, and the parents allow them to do that, which I think that if your son wants to dress in a dress, let him fucking dress in a dress, okay? But what you're saying is that's probably he's not gonna turn 10 and be different and not want to wear dresses.
Because I think
something inbred.
I think kids know more than adults do. And it's when they hit that age where it becomes they start judging people because of what they're taught.
Right.
I think they already know going into it, and I think now that I look back, I always knew that, because when I was little, I think every year for Halloween I wanted to be a girl, and I think at one point my dad told me no more. I did dress up as a girl and I loved it, but I never knew that then. But these kids now see
it's more open, so they see it before them.
They have a better opportunity to begin to identify earlier with what they possibly are.
Yeah, and they love people for who they are. They don't see color, they don't see gender, they don't see... And that's kind of like I tell a lot of people, like a lot of people ask me if I would ever go all the way because I'm in between.
But still have your boy parts.
Yes.
Now do you have plans to get rid of your boy parts? Okay.
Because I feel
talk to Wendy about the same thing.
I feel like what's underneath the hood of the car is not what defines you as a person. Right. I actually like being unique and different. I like being a transsexual woman, and I think I was put on this earth to be that person. So
that's good. You feel good about you.
Yeah.
Michelle and I were in the Little Darlings dance contest together. It was so good. That's where I first met Michelle. So, again, give all the fans all the rundown of your sites, where they can find you, because I know after this interview, I and them want to find you.
You can go to michelle-austin.com. You can also check out my blog at michelleaustinblog.com. And let's see, follow me on Twitter at tsmichelleausty. There's no N at the end of Austin. And Training Adult Store is where you can find all my DVDs.
Now,
Go buy them.
go buy them. I had a question, but you interrupted me.
I'm
So
sorry.
My question was, I know I had a question.
You think
We were
about your
talking
question, and I'm just going to
we
look
were
into
talking
Michelle's
about
eyes.
transitioning, and we were talking about being here and kids, and I don't remember what my question was.
I'm
God
sorry.
damn, I hate that. I'm so blonde
course.
these days.
And we're so exhausted from being here in
Oh, I
like 3
know.
days.
Oh,
My
I
God.
remember.
Okay.
Wendy was saying when she accepted one of her awards last night, she was saying that you're kind of like the spearhead for BBW trannies.
Yes.
And now, have you always been a bigger transsexual, or did McDonald's help you develop into this?
My family is all obese, or what would medically consider mostly obese. My dad had a gastric bypass a few years ago. So I've always grown up. I love to eat, but everybody in my family has the thighs and the ass that I have. So it doesn't matter if you're skinny or not. You still have the big thighs that rub against each other and the ass. But I was not always as big as I am now. I'm probably at the biggest I've ever been. But in terms of porn, especially on the transsexual side, no matter if I'd lost the 50, 60 pounds, I would still be considered BBW in that market.
Okay.
It's a whole different world. Now, when I come to BBW FanFest, a lot of true BBW fans will say you're not BBW because
Enough. You're kind of
You're
like a
just
chublet.
chublet or plumper or whatever. So when they look at that, but I am 260 pounds. So
Of beautifulness.
yes, but I also have a lot of muscle on my body, and so I ran for a long time. I was cross country when I was younger, but I guess I don't know. I guess I always had an athletic body in some ways, but I was always chubby. I had husky jeans when I was a kid.
In the tran world and doing your videos, is there a difference in the fans that like them a little plumper?
Well, there are, and you know what? A lot of guys don't know that there's girls out there. There's not sites that feature it. It's a very. When I came into it, I thought, oh well, I'm pretty, I'll get shot, and that was not the case. It was like, you're too fat. Oh, actually, a couple companies told me I had too many tattoos. That I couldn't do something, and that was their excuse. But in the long run, there was other girls getting shot with a lot more tattoos than me. So it wasn't about the tattoos; it was about my weight. And I know Devil's Films has said that they would never put a fat girl on the cover of a box, so it won't sell.
So and that's
Bullshit. We're proof that it does sell right in this room.
But you know, there's no sites for it, so I'm trying to advocate that with my site, and there are a few sites that feature transsexuals, but that are plumper and bigger. But it's not. You won't see them in a. I had a guy. Yeah, and I heard a guy one day go, "You'll see a lot of solos, but you won't see hardcore action with bigger transsexuals."
Maybe you should start a site for
That is my whole goal.
Trannies, and I will be the first.
BBWTrannyHardcore.com.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go, girl.
Yeah.
We'll give you. And you're in town local, so you
Yeah.
can bring
Selling
all
these
of your
ideas.
artists in to interview with us on
course.
Sunday nights, and so we'll help you. Just
Of course. It's my goal. It's my goal. We're getting there, and it just takes time. My site was the thing that we wanted to launch first and see how successful that is, and slowly making it. And like I've been in the industry 3 years, and it's just now to this point where people are going, "Oh my God, I just found you. You're amazing." So
Good.
that's the part.
the more you get yourself out there, the better it's going to be.
Yeah.
Well, I happen to think there's got to be a market for big girl trannies. I mean, there's a market
There
for
is.
big girls,
Mhm.
so there's got to be, without a doubt.
Well, I hate to say this, but and a lot of guys may not admit it. And I remember last year at BBW FanFest, a lot of my fans that were my fans had to kind of steered away from seeing me here for the simple fact they didn't want the backlash of the other girls. But what's so great about the BBW community with the women here, it's like a group of transsexuals. They're all loving and accepting of me, and so it was. I think guys, majority of the guys that like BBWs like transsexuals. So then you got it mixed together that.
Well, you know what's interesting? You know, I do stripper work, and I work for a couple entertainment companies in town, and I do roasts and stuff. But sometimes it's me and the trannies who are competing for the same job.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what the thing is, I think what bothers a lot of guys is they don't. I'm gonna be gay if I'm attracted to that girl, and that's not the case because most men that love us are straight. They love us as our women. We're women, so it's not about gay or straight.
My partner is he's like I'm not gay and I'm not going gay on you, but God, Michelle Austin is just hot, and I'm like, hey,
and he loves you. You know what? He's like, look at her hand. She's got beautiful, chubby girl hands. he did. I'm like, he said it to us last night. He goes, her face is so beautiful. And this morning he came in and he went, Michelle, did you look at her hands? So you need to walk up to him and do that.
But that's the thing, you're not gay, and that's why I want to tell everybody, you're not gay for loving or attracted to something. I hate the words. I hate labels. That's my biggest thing. I hate labels because it's not about labels. It's about who you love and who you're attracted to. It has nothing to do with what goes on in the bedroom. Because what goes on in the bedroom, because I know many of men who will have their wives and girlfriends put a strap-on in their butt because that's where the G spot is for a man.
Yeah.
So it's you would go down on a woman. So
now you're married, right? You have a husband?
5 years.
Awesome. Good for you.
We have a great relationship, and
he's supportive of all of this.
Of course, he shoots a lot of my stuff, and
he's like, "That's right, that's my bitch right there."
Actually, he's my bitch.
That's even better.
He tries to stay out of the limelight. It's not his thing, but he's great. He's supportive, and we have an open thing, so it makes it even easier for us.
Well, that works.
Great. Thank you so much. We have
so
enjoyed sitting next to you and Wendy. And like I said, I'm, do you know how they have like what do they call them, fag hags and stuff? I'm such a tranny hag. Okay?
Of course, yeah. So follow us anytime.
No, it's not fag hag. It's tranny nanny.
There you go, tranny nanny. I love that.
You're a tranny nanny, okay, girl?
I love sweet cheeks.
Thank you very much for sitting down with us, and we'll see you here next year. And you're local, so I'm sure we'll see you around.
I'll come back on again anytime.
We'll love to have you in the studio and talk sex and all that wild stuff.
Yeah, I used to have a radio show, so I know all about it.
All right, then we're gonna. Mama over here does all of our bookings, so we're gonna get in touch with you, and then we can, in the studio, we got time to talk about strap-ons and
of course,
transitioning and
bras.
What nasty things I've been doing.
Exactly, I love that. Okay, thanks, Michelle.
You, ladies.
We've been talking with Michelle Austin at BBW FanFest 2013. We'll be right back.